And we're recording. Maybe if you just held it up to the ceiling there, I don't know. So we're at the very back of the property now. Now we're going to proceed back towards the house and the main field. These yellow plants that you're looking at are called goldenrod. You can turn these things into a cup of tea, and it does have some other abilities as far as municipal purposes. As you can see, there's been quite a bit of deforestation here, but it's on the comeback. It's been about 15 years. Most of the plants that you see immediately to the side of the road are all alders. They're also very important to have because they keep the land from washing away. However, they're kind of a blight on the road, and you end up having to buy or get some equipment down in here to keep them off the road itself. This piece of property is 3 pieces of property on the west side of the Dorn Ridge Road, and it's total that the 3 pieces of property, which are 300 acres, is totally surrounded by Irving Oil lease of Crown land. On the other side of the road, my neighbor Neil has 300 acres to himself, and he's totally surrounded by Irving oil, pulp and paper woods. Now, between the two of us, we're thinking about introducing some wild turkeys here, and there's deer and moose all over the place, as well as wild chickens, bears, coyotes, skunks, porcupines, squirrels, chipmunks, and a variety of who knows what. Maybe the odd headless horseman, for all we know.
Maybe a bobcat.
Yeah, there could be bobcats. I'm not sure about lynx, and there's been reports over the last 100 years that there's been mountain lions spotted, but they're not really sure if they've ever seen one in the province in the last 100 anyway. So this here was a staging area where a lot of the trees that were taken out, bring in these large trucks and load up a full load of lumber on them and take them out. It's an impressive thing to see with picking these logs up and loading them on a truck, because it doesn't take them long, and they're off to the market or the sawmill, or in most cases they end up in the United States.
It's very dark. Wow.
It's okay. It'll lighten up when we turn away. We just get the idea, and that's it. Now, there's a few areas, and it's going to take some time to manage it, but it's a beautiful piece of property. It's the driest of them all. You see these little hills in here? The road is in excellent condition. It's not washed out anywhere, and you can go down with a nice rented Grand Prix or a Grand Cherokee Jeep without any fear of bogging down. We're about the halfway mark back towards the home, so you get an idea that we're in here pretty deep. Of course, when the snow starts to fly, there's no Grand Cherokee or anything much can get down here, except for snowmobiles. And last winter there was so much snow, a lot of the snowmobilers couldn't go out because they just got stuck everywhere. There wasn't enough, there was so much snow that they just got lost in it. Now, there is a couple of soft spots, but they're not that soft because the previous owner put quite a bit of rock into it when he cut this property over. I suspect we have another edible vegetable here, a thing that they call fiddleheads. There, how are you doing there, Mama?
I'm good. As best as I can.
Now this place has got so many raspberries in here, it's got to be a major attraction for bears. So I'm hoping to get Giselle one sometime, probably a spring bear, because they have a better coat than the fall bear who's been scratching all summer long on trees. Now here's another staging area too. So this one here is a good site for a little campground if you want it. And the water's just down here a little ways. Now, apparently at the end of the property, if you look back towards where the house is, you can see it in the wintertime, but in the summertime, forget it. You can't see nothing. It's just too dark. And unfortunately, I can't show you the little creek in the bushes that's up here, is because it's just too dark out right now.
We can try.
Well, we could give it a try, yeah. So we're going to have to get a piece of equipment down here with a called a bush hog, and what it'll do is it'll just chew up all these trees on both sides of the road and make it a little bit more pleasant to take and you'll be able to see down the road a lot further too. If you look in here somewhere, that's where it is. There, looking through there.
Okay, go up a little further.
I'm going.
There's a little brook.
There, you can see it there, and you can see it over here as well. Now, it's flowing year-round, so this is a good sign. What we're thinking about doing over on this other side is making a large pool on one side or the other and cementing a spillway in and out so we can control the level of this little pond. And the creek will fill it up as it flows by. Last year when I went to come down here, we had a couple of the trees blew over and we had to get them cut out of the way. Yeah. There's quite a bit of sugar maple. There's oak. Lots of softwood trees. There's sugar maple. We're almost into the bottom of the field here. And this woods is thick, so you gotta make sure that you don't get yourself twisted around when you're going off the beaten path, because you'll be out here, you'll be here for a long time. Here's the big field coming up. Right on. Now we're just coming into the bottom of the big field, and you'll be able to see the house when we round the corner. On the left is the living room. Bottom center is the kitchen and living room, or dining room. Upstairs, 2 windows on the left are my son's apartment. The windows on the right to the upper ones is the windows from the solarium. Underneath it is the solarium where you sit there with a rocker at night. And on the right is our bedroom window.
Under construction.
Under heavy construction. There's geothermal lines running up from the down in here, or down here in this area, up into the house. And I've saved probably about 80%, 90% of my electrical and heating bill by installing this system. I highly recommend it to everybody. The whole idea right now is just to get the house finished, and we want to be able to get a tractor and start plowing this field. Now on the left side, you'll see a lot of what are apple trees. And we have a whole ridge of them going down there, maybe 500 meters. And there's something like 150 apple trees there. On the upper left of the big hill in front of the house, I plan on setting up a reloading, or not a reloading bench, a shooting bench, and we can shoot targets down onto the field down here because there's nobody around us. This place is quite incredible because at night all you see is 2 blinking red lights off in the distance. On the right here, where we're scanning on, is a couple of old pieces of farm equipment that we found in the woods. We're in the position now of digging these things out, and we're going to restore this particular piece right here. It's got, it's called a rake. Here, go outside there.
Okay, stop.
So keep pinching in. So it says what? There you go. And then we also have part of a wagon or something on the other side. We've also found a tiller and a variety of all kinds of oddball things. But this particular one, we plan on putting up by the house. My son has over 300 trees hidden in this goldenrod at the minute, and on the side of the hill as we're going up. Here, look over there. Now this is the old road out of the thing that we're going to keep, but we're also going to add another road into it up at the top here. Having a hard time hanging on?
Well, it's a bumpy road with this, so it's hard to keep it. Pictures all over.
That's okay. They get the idea. This is the site of the old barn that we knocked down, and we shouldn't have done it the way we did it because now it's a never-ending pile of grief. So this fall we're going to get an excavator in here, light it on fire, and move it around and get rid of it. And bury what's left. We have some burdocks. Now if you don't know what burdocks is, we've got the market cornered on them. These things here, they get stuck in your clothes, they stick in your legs, they're needles, really bad stuff. I think we need a herd of goats in here to sort this mess out. Here's one of the original gates from a long time ago, and these here is a beautiful display of high bush cranberries, just loaded. Now bears will eat these things, and they'll poop it out all over the road later here. Beautiful. So now we're coming out through the gate here, which we close in the fall to keep all the hunters out. So this is 100 acres of private prime hunting land. Now I'll just show you up one of my fields. This is down the road towards the city. Hey, hang on there, buck. My neighbor just logged off about 50 acres of land here. It's okay.
No.
It's okay. All right.
It's dark here, this picture.
Won't be in a second. Now I've got several other fields besides that big one down under by the house. There's this one on to the right, but it's hard to see because we have the sun in our face. And we have another one that joins up with it to the right of it. I can't remember what you call beetle balm or something.
No, bee balm.
This is called bee balm. This is a pretty flower. We don't know how it got here. Probably a bird.
And we don't want to remove that.
No, I can do anything with that. I think I probably plowed it though. Now this is the beginning of Lover's Lane. This road I made last summer and I cleaned it all out, but we've got a few more branches to pull out and get it into the fire. Up there you'll see a wood pile that represents, there's 3 rows that size, which is 1 cord of wood. On the right is all apple trees here. It's just dense. So we're in the process of trying to dig that out and revive these apples to their original state. These trees here could all be up in the neighborhood of 150 years old. Because our house is under construction, I can't drive around it to the left, and we call this the ring road. I could probably get through, but I won't bother. See, we'll just go back now. There. So that's basically what it is.
Stop for a minute. This is an apple tree here. With
Right
the
out the
apples.
door.
Another 6 weeks they'll be ripe for eating or baking. And here's Lover's Lane. We can stop up here.
Giselle made me that sign to go with the other sign. Here, move it over a little bit because it's all you're on the bug splatter on the window.
It's okay. My arm's getting tired. It's okay.
All right, that's it. And we're on our way back out to the house. There.